select board to order on Monday, October 28, 2024 at 6:30 p.m. Please join me in saluting the flag. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
The record show all selectmen are present. Consent agenda number 1, warrant, AP warrant number 11, 10/16, 2024. Number 2, payroll register number 42, 10/17, 2024. And number 43, 10/24, 2024.
I'll make a motion to accept the AP warrants and payroll registers as read.
Second.
I have a motion and a second to approve the AP warrant and payroll register as read. Any questions? Seeing none, all those in favor? All in favor, the motion carries. Letter D, acceptance of the meeting minutes of the select board meeting on October 15th, 2024.
Move to accept the minutes of the meeting of October 15th, 2024.
Second.
All right, I have a motion and a second to accept the minutes of the select board meeting on October 15th, 2024. All those in favor? All in favor, the motion carries. Acceptance of the minutes of the special select board meeting on October 7th, 2024.
I'll make a motion to accept the special select board meeting of October 7th, 2024.
All right, we need an acceptance, I'm sorry. Second. All right, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor? All in favor, the motion carries. Acceptance of the meeting minutes of the special select board meeting on December 4th, 2023.
I'll make a motion to accept the special select board meeting minutes for December 4th, 2023.
I'll second.
Second. Any questions? Yes, Mr. Lee.
Refresh my memory on December 4th.
We had a select board meeting and we just didn't, the town manager didn't get the minutes to us.
Okay,
Okay?
okay.
All those in favor? All in favor? Motion carries. All right, going down to old business, letter E, we're gonna cross off number 2, TIF rules for allowable expenditures. We're not ready for that just yet. All right, number 1, matching grant. And we have that in front of us. Information on the matching grant. I believe we have 35,000 that we're going out to match
Yes.
people, okay? Where are we advertising all of this?
This will be advertised on the town website. The sign, we'll post it in the town office. We'll email it out to the regular distribution email list. I don't know where else to put it.
Town, okay, town sign.
Town sign, website, town office, and then the email distribution list.
We don't need to go to the newspaper at all.
I don't think so.
Did you get the Madison business owner?
Oh, yeah. Yep.
So we're looking at the second section where it says application process. 35,000 is to be granted up to that. The application period is gonna run from November 1st to December 31st. And completed applications need to be at the town office by 4 p.m. on Tuesday, December 31st. And then by the end of January, we will make some decisions recommending them to the board. Does anybody see, should we do anything different with these dates? These are kind of tentative. I think that's enough time for people to get bids and get quotes and get all of that stuff together, so they can have something for us and everybody's good with it? Okay. All right, so we will send that out and get it started.
Can I get a motion to approve that?
We already have.
The timeline and everything? Okay.
Yeah, we already have as far, the money is all we need to worry about. The rest
Okay.
of it,
The rest of it's just,
the rest of it's insignificant.
oh, okay.
Sorry.
No, it's all right by
I
me.
didn't mean to use that quite that strong.
I understand.
Alright, okay, so, number 3, fiscal year 2023 audit report. It is in front of us, and the town manager is given us some preliminary information about that. And so my comment, I guess, is gonna be that we take it home. RHR Smith Company, this paper here,
Yes.
giving us kind of the details. Take it home, read it, any questions, and we'll come back on the 18th and go over it. If anybody would like the 100
page.
pages, let us know, and we can make your copy. Okay, thanks. Everybody good with that? Good. All right, number 3. In our last meeting, Mrs. Estes mentioned policing options in Madison, and just wanted to follow up on that to see if there's any interest in us moving forward with something different, or if we're happy with what we have, and I'll let her go.
So, it has been for years, continue to hear that people are not satisfied with the way the policing is. And there's never any other options for them to go with, other than to have no policing at all. So, it was brought to our attention that the Skowhegan Police Department may have some interest in doing policing for the town of Madison. So, it was also, I think Denise was the one, it was brought to her attention that we couldn't do that because the county had to give us permission to do so. So, I saw it on the news one night that these two towns had combined to do policing, and one town was using their county for their policing, and the other town had their own policing. So they combined, and it was Southwest Harbor and Tremont. So Tremont and Southwest Harbor is now doing their policing for them. And that just started this year. And then after I contacted those two police departments, they also said that East Millinocket had been doing combined policing with Medway since 1998, and that they just combined, and so Millinocket just went on board with East Millinocket doing their policing, so they're combined. And they, I guess, I think that Millinocket had their own police department, and they dissolved it, and so they went with the East Millinocket. So they can combine. We can use another municipality, and I have talked to the police chief Butnam in Skowhegan. They are interested in providing policing for the town of Madison. So that's where we're at.
Moody.
Is this the opinion of the board or one person's opinion that we have a broken sheriff's department that does not fit the job that we're asking?
If you're asking me if I have an opinion one way or the other, I do not. I listen to the concerns of the people, the residents in the town of Madison, and there is many people out there. You have people that are satisfied, you have many that are not satisfied. Some I've heard, we don't even need to have anybody covering us, okay? So you've got those people, you've got the one that wants something different than what we do have, and then you have ones that are content with what we have. But I think that to satisfy everybody, if we explored the option and just to see where it's at, can they give us what residents want? I don't know. Will it be as cost effective? I don't know any of that, but we will never know if we don't explore.
I think that would be moving in the wrong direction, and the reason that I say that is, number one is, I don't know what a different agency can do different than what the sheriff's department is providing at this time. I do know that they've been called to our meetings 3 times and asked the same question over and over and over again. And I don't know how a agency, the police department in Skowhegan is gonna find all these people when nobody else in the country can find police officers. I mean, Mexico gave up their police department Pittsfield's working on a wing and a prayer. I don't know where all these people are gonna come from, first of all. Second of all, you're talking about an agency that their town isn't real happy with because they won't, the school board in Skowhegan won't even allow that agency to provide RSOs. School officers, rather.
They have one in Skowhegan, their SRO is, in Skowhegan is a Skowhegan police officer. The ones in the other school that have schools in the county and not within their own town,
Well, that is-
has another SRO which is provided by the
Yeah.
sheriff's office.
I know that the school board took a vote and they didn't want to do it any longer. The other thing that concerns me greatly is that if you bring in an agency like that, whereas the sheriff's department that's providing our protection right now, they are covering all the liability factors, and the town is not liable for anything. I really don't see the town of Skowhegan accepting an officer in this town making a mistake and then the town of Skowhegan getting sued for it. Because you're not just talking about just coming in and doing the job. If somebody sues, we're gonna be liable for it if another agency takes over that doesn't accept all the responsibilities, and I can't see that town doing it, number one.
So,
I don't see how we're gaining in the positive area more than what we're having right now. Is there specifics that these people are asking for that we can't have the sheriff answer the problem? Because I haven't seen anybody come in any of our meetings and said that, I don't like the sheriff's department way of doing this, and this. And I haven't had anybody approach me and stipulating that, well, maybe we ought to have a different sheriff's department. If, in fact, you go with Skowhegan and all of these factors do not fit this town, and when you make this town liable, and then you wanna go back to the sheriff's department, good luck. Then where are we going to go? You're gonna go on a first come, first served basis. And I hope somebody besides me is gonna explain it, because I ain't gonna be here to explain that to the people that you're gonna get a response here in about 4 hours because you're on the priority list and there's more serious action being taken someplace else. I guess I don't see where everything is broke or what's broken, or I don't see a stampede of people coming in here complaining. I'm just leery about the liability factors that's gonna be laid on this town. We can't, and your liable suits now, on 100,000 or 500, they're in the millions. This town can't afford that. But if that's what the town wants, fine, let's bring it to them.
I'm just saying, all I'm saying is we need to explore, because we don't even know the answers. You have many questions and concerns. Do you not remember going to this meeting that we had a couple of weeks ago, and that we discussed that sometimes we have to step outside of our comfort zones and figure it out. Maybe there's other options that we just have never looked at. I'm just saying, look at it, that's it. Just look at it and explore it. We don't know, we haven't talked to the Skowhegan Police Department. I have only, like I said, mine was just very basic. They showed interest, okay? And they kind of approached us, but it was during the budget season and it never came to all of us. It wasn't us directly.
Who approached us?
Skowhegan approached, but it was too late and it didn't make it to us to the budget season. It was right at budget season.
Who is?
Am I correct, Denise?
Yeah,
Who
Chief
is us
Putnam,
they're approaching?
me, Chief Putnam came to
Okay.
me, but we were in the budget process already, and there was no way to have a presentation at that time.
And what did he offer you?
I believe he said that for what we're paying the sheriff's office, they could do the same services. That they could provide I'm sorry, for the same cost, they could provide around-the-clock, policing, cars, police officers, to match at least what the Somerset County Sheriff's Office was doing.
So he's offering tit for tat,
But we,
the
we
same,
don't really
the
know
same
because
job
it-
with different.
We don't really know because we didn't explore it at the time, because at the time that it came in, it was not feasible to have that conversation.
I just, throw my 2 cents worth in here, but I think that we have got the sheriff's department back to, I'm hearing full strength with 16 or 17 people now on board and filling jobs. So we're not gonna have that gap, people not being available to be there. I mean, I think we have a number of people here in town who are sheriff, deputies that have lived here. Not because I like it, but I saw one up on Western Avenue where I travel a lot. So I guess I gotta slow down. Park there, the person must be living there. Has been there a number of days in the last 2 or 3 weeks. So, I mean, I think we have decent to better than decent service, now that they're back to full strength. And we're talking, coming up later in the meeting, talking about an SRO from the Sheriff's Department, which I think they put a lot of time into it. So I don't know if it's gonna give us any more than what we have. And, I mean, I don't know how you go about asking them to look at it without slapping the sheriff's office in the face. I mean, I think you're kind of letting them have it and saying, well, we're gonna try to find something better than you. I personally, myself, don't think it's there, but, I mean.
Mr. Chairman, I think the end results here could be that if the sheriff himself starts listening to all of this complaining, so to speak, and this dissatisfaction with the job he's doing, he doesn't have to do this job is what I'm afraid of, number one. And number two, he would really satisfy his commissioners if he pulled all of these police officers out of this town and stuck them in the county. The county would be real happy about that. And then the other thing is that if he feels that we're not that happy with it, you know, he'll pull stakes and leave, then where are we? We're gonna get down on our knees and beg it to come back? I don't think that'll happen.
Roy, you have a comment?
Isn't the contract with the county a contracted service?
Yes, until
Then
the end of.
why
the end
wouldn't
of-
you ask for requests for proposals or put it out to bid like anything else?
No, that's it, that's an idea.
That's sort of what I was thinking too, that we could, I mean,
See what your options are. I think you owe it to taxpayers in Madison for a cheaper option if it's just as good coverage. But, you know, I guess the gray elephant in the room is, we get whacked twice here with taxation from the county. We pay for this subsidy for this Madison division, as we know, not all the time that deputy is in Madison. It's in other towns. We're subsidizing those towns' coverage. I think that we owe it to the taxpayer to see what's out there for services.
I mean, I guess we could, when we get to that point in the budget process, we can send out that request for proposal.
I think you would wanna do that before the budget process, because.
Right.
Yeah, so probably maybe in January,
Yeah.
December,
Say.
January.
That satisfy the board?
Are you saying put out a bid process? Is that what you're saying?
I'm happy the way it is. I don't particularly agree that we're getting double taxed, but that would, on over that,
way too many times, so, but, you know, whatever we wanna do, whatever the board wants to do, I will tell you, I will not deal with this subject. I won't be the one dealing with who's complaining after this, so, but just, whatever we wanna do, I don't have a problem.
I'd like to put it out for a bid process.
I got a question.
Yep.
Currently, we don't have a bid process with the sheriff's department, right?
That is correct.
It's just an ongoing contract that we,
Right.
Never heard of.
okay.
Alright, so what's our pleasure? What do we wanna direct the town manager to do when it becomes, just before the, budget season starts?
When will that be?
Probably March, early March, but we should go out for proposal in January if you're gonna do that.
I was wondering if, sorry, I was wondering if it might behoove us to, and this could cause all kinds of issues as well, but, to have the chief of police in Skowhegan come and speak with us about what he can
Well,
propose.
I would rather have him speak with the town manager to start with. I mean, 'cause I
Yeah, that's fine too, I mean, I just,
because he has to go back and
yeah, he's gonna get.
report to
he's gonna-
somebody. I mean,
yeah.
I find it hard to believe that Skowhegan's gonna come here. I just don't even, I don't believe it, but maybe. So I guess do we take a vote and put it out for proposal, or do we just,
I think we should discuss it with, have her discuss it with Chief first, Chief Buckman,
alright, we can talk about it at the next meeting.
perhaps, just to see what, to get something more detailed.
they have
and-
interest.
And if he's interested still, and if his bosses will consider doing something like that,
I know in the past, I've gone to meetings in Skowhegan, we were all gonna work together, and
nothing.
we never had worked together. So, I mean, Mr. Curtis has been there, and we've gone to them in Skowhegan, and we've sat in a big meeting in a big room, and we all agreed on we should all work together, but when it comes to practical application, it doesn't happen. But, maybe this might work, I don't know. Alright, let's move on. Alright, number one, items of communication, living well reports, we have those.
We have none. Cheyenne has been very busy with the election.
Alright, you got something going on, huh? Alright, town manager report, expenses and revenues, we have those.
Yes.
Alright, any questions on those? Alright, next joint boards, not boards, right?
Yeah,
Workshop,
joint board workshop.
okay, when is that gonna be?
That's gonna be Tuesday, November 19th, from 6 to 8 PM at SRS Hall.
Okay.
And I do have one more item of communication.
Yep.
So, if there's no questions about the workshop,
We're good,
that'll be published many places.
alright.
It was brought to my attention that there was not enough notification on the special town meeting on October 22nd. And I don't know how else we could have improved that. We had it on the town sign, we had it in the newspaper, we had it on the website, we had it published in the office. And the day of, I sent out text my gov message for anybody that had signed up on the cell phone text messaging. So I don't, and I put it out on Facebook too, so I don't know what other options, what other suggestions are there?
And it was posted at all the normal postings that you do for.
Rennie's and
Yep, that-
Hannaford
out to-
and
yep,
Heights and,
And out to East Madison and all that. So
yep.
I don't think there's anything else you can do, that's
There's
my
nothing else
opinion,
to
it's
do.
just, and they all knew, it's not like they didn't know it was gonna happen.
Okay.
I mean, there's only so much you can do.
All right, well, if there's other suggestions, I mean, I'm happy to entertain them and And does anybody else have any ideas?
No, we're moving on. New
Okay.
business. Number one, SRO. Town manager?
We have a proposal from the Somerset County Sheriff's Office.
Well, before I go on, we're gonna remove number 2 also on new business, number 2. We're not ready for that right now.
Yes, tax quiet property, right.
All right, SRO. Mr. Curtis, are you
I
the
can,
spokesperson?
I can speak to it, I suppose. Last week, I had met with the school board, since I'm on the school board, and they had discussed this, and at the end of that discussion, they were willing to find the money for this current budget season, starting in January. So I went back and I put together a 6-month agreement, and obviously, we have gone down the road in Madison with SROs before. Chelsea Mary filled that position for a little bit, and the school was very pleased with the work that she did. And ever since she kind of moved on, it's been difficult to fill that position, and as the chairman mentioned, you went through a period of time where it was just very difficult to employ deputies, period. And so a couple of things have come about that make it a good opportunity now. The sheriff's department is getting closer to fully staffed with deputies. We have a deputy that has expressed interest in the SRO position in Deputy Pike, and he's certified and trained as an SRO. So, as the sheriff has said before, it's a round peg, round hole situation. The other thing that has come about is that the county has received a COPS Fast grant, which allows for some additional funding. And so what we're proposing from the county is that we marry the COP Fast grant with the SRO to benefit MSAD 59 and the town of Madison. So in this proposal, which I assume was in your packets and you have copies of it, just a couple clarifications here. This is a standalone agreement, so it has no bearing on your current contract for policing with the county. So if indeed you did choose to do another option of policing, this would stand alone if you wanted to continue. I just drafted it for the 6-month period between January and June, assuming that if all goes well, then you would be able to budget for another year of it in the upcoming fiscal year. I had put some language in there that I had borrowed from another site about the particulars of an SRO, so it's pretty in detail into the levels of service. I won't go into all that, but I think it's a really good capitalization of what they do. So the other things I tried to, best I could, listen to the sheriff, listen to the school district, and listen to the town as to what some of their concerns were, and try to write it in here. So under Article 3, which is the employment, obviously this employee still works for the county and reports to the sheriff. However, the sheriff's really not involved in the day-to-day work in the school. That comes as a result of conversations between the SRO and the building principals and the superintendent. So the sheriff's really not dictating what that SRO is going to do. That's up to the needs of the school. The SRO is a law enforcement person. One of the concerns was, what if something happens and we don't have law enforcement presence in town? Will the SRO be called out of the school to go do that? And so the sheriff and I talked about it, and we've structured it in this way, that the primary duty is to the district. The SRO is not considered a primary law enforcement officer on shift in Madison. He's a law enforcement officer on shift at the district. So in the presence of the schools. So we wouldn't be backfilling any law enforcement vacancies in Madison with the SRO. So that was important that the SRO would stay committed to the school. And then the second part there is what do we do when the school is not in session? And the sheriff talked about this a little bit at your joint meeting a couple of weeks ago, that he would like to see the SRO continue to stay involved with youth and young people in Madison by being somehow connected to the recreation department when school is not in session. And so those are some of the things I put in here. The other thing was the cost. And so I'm presenting this as a partnership. Because I know, and people make the case, whether the school pays for it all or whether the town pays for it all, really comes out of the same tax bill. But I want to propose it as a partnership so that the county has a stake in it, the town has a stake in it, and the school has a stake in it. And in doing so, the numbers come out $20,000 for the town for this 6 months, $20,000 from the school district for this 6 months. Now, the county will contribute $25,000 from the grant, but in addition to that, the county's also on the hook for about $23,000 for this 6-month period. So everybody's putting in a similar amount of skin into this game to make it work as a partnership. And instead of the way your contract is now, where you pay a certain portion for the full police protection based on the budget, and I agree, sometimes you're not getting what you're paying for. If you pay that full $40,000 a month and they're not able to fulfill all those shifts, you're right, as a taxpayer, you're not getting that. So what I propose with this SRO is if, in the instance that we are not able to fill that position of SRO, then we don't bill you, because we'll bill you after the month is over. In other words, if we start this program in January, assuming Deputy Pike is on the job in January for the full month, you'll get a bill from us in February. And so we're kind of billing after the fact. So I think that pretty much covers the concerns that we are hearing and what we try to address with this.
Mr. Moody?
Tim, is this like a Cop Fast grant you're receiving?
It is,
Is it
and so you have basically
decreasing?
trickle down money, right?
Yeah. Is it like a 3 or a 5 year?
No, it's to be shorter than that. It'll be less. It'll probably be 3 years at the most, because we're applying. It's $125,000 was the total amount, which is a smaller Cops Fast grant. You used to get much bigger ones. So we're applying $25,000 to this 6-month period. Then we'd apply $50,000 to the next full year, and then $50,000 to the third full year.
Okay.
So, outside of SAD 59, or RSU 59, whichever we want to call it, what will this SRO have to do? Do we have to go to other towns in the county, by the county being involved?
So I'll speak to that a little bit, because that pertains more to the reporting of the grant. So again, if the town and the county and the school are putting in money, if you look at it that way, it's about 75%, and then the grant's putting in about 25% at this time. So that grant requires reporting on school safety protocols and so forth in the other schools in Somerset that don't necessarily have their own police force in that town. So you wouldn't worry about Fairfield, Pittsfield, or Skowhegan, but you'd look at Carabec School District, Jackman, Bingham, and Madison. So headquartered in Madison, he can do, the SRO can do most of that work while they're headquartered in Madison. There will be times throughout the year that they would have to take trips and maybe meet with people at Forest Hills or meet with people at Valley, but the primary work will be done in Madison.
What was the decision of the school board? Have they come through with an official decision yet?
So we talked about it at the last meeting, and there was a little resistance from the superintendent to pay for it out of this budget year. And let me address that, knowing a little bit about the budget structures. Yes, you didn't budget this $20,000, neither did the town nor the school. However, both of those entities have ways to track that money. If you're paying after the fact, you're paying $3,300 a month. In the town of Madison, I would add that rate to your police line budget that you paid for. For the school, they already have a line for an SRO, but they didn't budget anything for it, so that will run in the negative for 6 months. The overall article in the school probably will not exceed that $20,000 negative. Just like your public safety article for town meeting will probably not exceed a $20,000 negative, because you have the police department, animal control, fire department, all under that same public safety window. In the event of the select board, if you did override that article, you have the authority to take from undesignated fund balance up to 25,000 to make it whole. On the school, if they do overrun an article, they automatically have the authority to pull from an underfunded article and make it even. So there are ways that you can do it, and I think at the end of our school board meeting, it was the consensus that $20,000 was a low enough risk to try it going forward. But I've sent the same documents to the superintendent with the intention of taking action on them on November 21st, I think, is the next school board meeting.
Any other questions? We've been talking about SRO for a long period of time. Ever since we lost one, we've trying to get it back. So, I mean, I think we have a decent proposal here to at least get it started, and it doesn't mean we go with it forever. So I guess we're looking for a motion to ask the town manager, I should probably ask the town manager to give us her thoughts on that.
I think it's an opportunity that we're not gonna see come again. And if we don't take advantage of it, we're gonna be sorry, my opinion.
Sissies?
We don't know how much I want to SRO, but until the school approves it, I want them to make the commitment first before we do.
Well, I mean, I think we can make it contingent on them approving, right? I mean, we're not gonna come up with 40, so, I mean, it has to be them saying that they will do it. So whatever motion we make it contingent on the school district saying yes, school board approving it. Is that reasonable? Alright, would somebody like to make a motion?
I'll make a motion that we go forward with the school resource officer services presented to us tonight, subject to the school district paying their fair share of over $20,000.
And approving it.
And approval.
Alright.
Second.
Alright, we have a motion and a second to continue forward with the school resource officer contract agreement, I guess, pending the outcome of the school board meeting dealing with this subject.
You said that was the 21st.
I think it's the 21st. I think you've got a meeting that night too.
We have ours on the 18th.
Oh, the 18th, so it's probably the 18th.
18th.
Yeah, it's
Get your calendar right.
a Monday.
Get your calendar right.
I don't have meetings every other Monday like I used to.
Alright, any other comments? Questions? Alright, all those in favor? All in favor, the motion carries. Thank you, Mr. Curtis. Let's see, where are we at here? Alright, Community Resilience Partnership through the Governor's Office of Policy Innovation and Future, ABCOG. Town manager.
Yep, let me get there. Okay. KVCOG has asked us to sign on, and I apologize, I didn't get the letter printed out for you guys, to agree that we will participate in supporting the effort to have green energy, resilience in, give me a second, I'm gonna find it. It's driving me crazy.
This is something that needs to be done right now.
Well, I don't even know if you need to vote on it, I just know that, they're asking us to sign on so that we can have, a voice and they can apply for grants. And then once they get the grant funding from the feds, then, feds or state, then we can have, action on, from the board as to what we wanna participate in from that grant.
Alright, well, I guess I'd like to see the letter and do that first before we vote on anything or do anything. So let's
Okay.
take it up, we'll take it up in November.
Okay,
Alright, citizens' concerns. Citizens' concerns? Select board concerns. What? Mr. Nui? Mr. Bean?
Not a concern, I just wanna make sure everybody knows that December 7th, we're gonna be doing a community Christmas Day around Madison, a lot of good things going on. Most of the activities from last year, and there'll be more out, they're getting flyers out, so.
Alright. We have candy?
Yes,
Okay, alright.
and Santa Claus and Mrs. Claus.
and sleigh rides.
And the only thing I have is just make sure we review this, the assessment report from the state, our preliminary tax valuation for '25. So make sure you look at that, and we will talk about that probably at our next meeting.
Okay,
Alright, looking for motion to adjourn.
Make a motion to adjourn.
Motion and second to adjourn, all those in favor? All in favor, and remember the next meeting is